New Year, we're focusing on putting God first. And today I get to share with you about putting God first by fasting. In the scripture, there's many reasons that people fasted. They fasted to better hear God's voice, and that they were looking for an answer. They fasted sometimes to mourn and lament over sin. They fasted to show sorrow or to show grief. And sometimes people fasted to ask God for mercy and for God's grace. Or they would fast to plead for safety and for provision, or to maybe change a difficult situation in their lives. And there was fasting that was also proclaimed to honor God and remember what God had done for them. And I also believe that there was fasting that occurred so people could grow deeper in their relationship with God. And we see that evident in Luke chapter 2, beginning in verse 36 from the NIV. It says, "There was also a prophetess, Anna, the daughter of McNeil of the tribe of Asher. She was very old, and she had lived with her husband 7 years after her marriage, and then was a widow until she was 84. She never left the temple but worshiped day and night, fasting and praying. Coming up to them at that very moment, she thanked God. She gave thanks to God and spoke about the child to all who were looking forward to the redemption of Jerusalem." It says Anna worshiped day and night, fasting and praying. And she spent her time before God, and she grew deeper and closer to God in her walk with Him. And in doing so, Anna had that immediate recognition that when she saw them, she saw Mary and Joseph and the baby. She knew it was Jesus, that the promised one of God. And she began to proclaim the truth to all those around, those that had been expecting and looking forward to the coming of the Messiah. And so when I knew that I was going to have to do this devotion on fasting, I asked a group of people in Sunday school what they thought of when they heard the word fasting, and almost immediately somebody called out, giving up food. And that's really what we think of, having to give up something when we think of fasting. But maybe we should look at fasting differently. Instead of looking at giving up something, look at what are we going to gain from fasting. One of my favorite passages of scriptures is found in the book of Exodus, chapter 33, where Moses prays for the presence of God. And he prayed, and as he prayed for God, and God promised him that He would give him His presence, and God promised that He would go before him. And after God got through doing that, beginning in verse 18, He said this, "Now show me your glory." And the Lord said, "I will cause my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name to the Lord in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." But He said, "You cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live." Then the Lord said, "There is a place near me where you may stand on a rock. When my glory passes by, I will put you in the cleft of the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen." And I think about all that God had done with Moses. Had God, had called him by the burning bush. How God had used him to wondrously lead the children of Israel out of bondage in Egypt. How God had spoken with Moses many, many times. But then Moses came and says, "God, I want to see your glory. God, I know there's more for me. I know that there's a deeper relationship that I can have with you." So what if this year, through fasting and through prayer, we tell God that I want to know you more. I want to know you deeper. I want to enhance that relationship with you. What a relationship, that we might have with Him. We tell God, I want to see you, God. I want to see you in my life. And in doing that, I want people to see you within me, in the way I live and just the way I am. And the results might be like the next chapter 34, when Moses came down from the mountain, that he had so much of the presence of God, he literally radiated God, and they had to put a veil over his face. And together, I think that's something that we need to look for through fasting, again, through prayer. Grow closer and deeper to the things of God, where we literally glow with the presence of God.